Hi, my name is Kayla Kintop, and for my DSARI project, I decided to tie it into my major, which is kinesiology. So I decided to title it Making Energy at Home and Increasing Physical Activity and Leisure Time. So my actual project was me building a generator by using common household items and a DC motor, where basically I turn the handle next to the CDs and it spins a DC motor using a rubber band, which will then power the little LED light, if you can see at the bottom there. So this got me thinking in terms of my major, like about those stationary bikes that can power a light bulb. And I was thinking if I can use this movement with my hand to produce energy to power a light bulb, like what other options are out there. So, background information, the exercise and leisure time in America has immensely decreased over time. In a class I'm taking right now, we looked over maps of America and dynamics in terms of BMI, which is body mass index. And over the last 2 decades, it has increased tremendously. Like, Americans have never had a higher BMI than they do right now. And another thing to note is that if you look at trends in physical activity and exercise, as well as leisure time, those times have also decreased with the increase of BMI. Another thing to note is that energy requires constant cash flow for consumer usage and results in damage to the environment, including our emissions that we've discussed, and it can really add up to be expensive in a couple different ways in our cash flow to keep using it and the damage to the environment. And I was also thinking, if stationary bikes that generate energy exist, why aren't they more common? I mean, with all these different methods we're looking at to save energy and reduce emissions, as well as increase the exercise physical activity in this nation, why aren't these more common? So the device I looked at was called Pedal-A-Watt, and it was from this website, and I looked at some of the pros and cons of them. So pros is that it uses your exercise for energy. They do sell these for recreational use. It's not just something you find in a lab at this point. They can power small lights and small appliances. I think most small appliances don't even need to charge to 400 watts, and this machine can produce up to 400 watts. It's a one-time purchase for energy powered by your own body versus paying constantly for your energy use. Increases leisure time, which is better for your health, sort of mentioned before, and also is helpful in situations where energy is scarce, so power outages, anything that really limits your energy usage. And then the cons, though, is that it's an expensive one-time purchase. I think the minimum cost is about $900. It's timely because you actually have to sit there and pedal, or whatever sort of modality it is for the device. And based off the dynamics that I mentioned earlier, most Americans would rather not exercise for energy when they could simply use an outlet or another source of energy. So, Pedal-A-Watts versus traditional energy. Pedal-A-Watt, like I said, has an energy capacity 400 watts, can be used to charge, store energy, all sorts of things like that. Is super convenient. It only weighs about 24 pounds. And like I said, the minimum cost is around $900. And I think the maximum cost I saw was a little over $1,000. And a con here that's a pro for the traditional energy is the cost for electricity in a medium house averages $1,500 a year. So $1,500 per year versus around $900 one time, and you power it yourself. So to sum up things here, with the Pedal-A-Watt or other sorts of devices like it, it increases your leisure time. You save money in the long-term sense, so paying one time versus paying constantly. And I think it could be modified for larger use in the future. If this exists and can power smaller things, I'm wondering what they'll come up with next for larger appliances and or even like buildings or households. And another thing that I saw was interesting was a subway in Russia accepts 30 squats as payment for using their subway. So I really thought that was interesting in terms of using exercise as payment, and like my project here about using exercise for energy, and I thought they just tied in really well together. And here are my sources. Thank you so much for watching.